A forlorn chase of Celtic for Aberdeen in second place this season. We'd known that for some time, but Derek McKenna's side still aiming to clinch that runners-up spot ahead of Rangers. Hearts, the visitors, this weekend at Pittodrie.
Andrew Considine is free of suspension and returns to the fold at the expense of Jayden Stockley. This Aberdeen side aiming to emulate the '86 version by winning 9 home games on the trot. Ian Cathro was that impressed by his Hearts team last week that he's named the same 11 players. Aaron Hughes is fit again and sits among the subs as Hearts look for a first win of the season over Aberdeen. There's a goalless draw between these two back in August. Aberdeen are the better of it, Hearts perhaps had the best chance as Nicholson goes for goal. That's a decent opportunity carved out by himself there for Sam Nicholson. Taylor and Avdonitis waiting for this corner. A bit of grappling, and there's a shout for handball there as well by a couple of Hearts players. And there it was. It would have been Jolis, actually, the Hearts midfielder it came off of. Hearts were going to build on that wonderful win over Hamilton last week. They look more like themselves. A brilliant challenge there by Logan. But Nicholson! That's the best chance of the game so far. Well, it was Tony Watt who was on loan at Hearts at the time who missed the best opportunity at Pittodrie in the summertime. Considine for McGinn. Up against Struna. It's a good ball! And Logan's there! It's Niall McGinn once again with the potent delivery. And Shea Logan stolen from right back. And boy, he has enjoyed that one. Aberdeen in front. When Aberdeen won 9 home matches in a row in 85-86, it was Hearts who stopped their run. John Calhoun with the only goal. It's Gonsalves who's offside. Not that he is in agreement with the decision, and he's pretty much on line with Logan there, to be fair to him. Shinnie. Oh, what a touch by Graham Shinnie. Brilliantly done. Spilled in. Rooney's there, but he is offside. Celebrations cut short. What a touch by Graham Shinnie. That was outstanding. Rooney's feet were in line, his head and shoulders weren't. Hayes, back it goes to McLean! Well, both he and Graham Shinnie will feel very aggrieved that they are not in the Scotland squad for the upcoming double-header. McLean has been superb in recent times. This is Jolis. Well, Kenny McLean went after it. Avdonitis has sold it. Here's Hayes for number 2. And 9 in a row is on its way for Aberdeen. Oh dear, Avdonitis. That is a horror show. And Johnny Hayes gobbles up the chance to double the Dons' lead, and it is the least that they deserve. They are cruising. McLean. Look at that. Well, you know someone's playing with confidence when they hit this kind of thing from 30 yards. So unlucky. Tipped over by Hamilton. Shinnie works it to Hayes. Tormenting the Hearts defence, and Hamilton beats it away. McGinn's efforts blocked. When he's in this kind of mood, he's very difficult to keep a lid on, Johnny Hayes. To Struna. Oh, Gonsalves is in here. There was no flag. Just what the Aberdeen defence is looking for. And Joe Lewis played to the whistle. Well, it's actually come off the Aberdeen defender, which is why he's on. Aberdeen picked up their 100th competitive win over Hearts just before Hogmanay. Victory number 101 is just about with them, and Niall McGinn thinks he should have made it 3-0. He was offered a pre-contract by Hearts in January. Well, it should be easy for Aberdeen, but we saw what he did earlier, but Jayden Stockley's become embroiled here with Christian Novak, and Stockley's off. It's a flailing arm. And now Stephen McLean, the referee's got to sort things out.
I think it's great as a manager when you see a team so relentless with their work. I think that honesty is ripping out of them. I thought we spoke before the game about those middle two-thirds really are being aggressive and making the game go our way, pressing the life out of them, and I thought we did that. I didn't think Hearts could cope with that.
Much has been made about notes coming down from the stand and Craig Levein being in the dressing room at half-time. How much input does he have during the 90 minutes?
I'm someone who works in a certain way. I'm very much used to working with a collective staff. I've always been involved in technical staff that has people in a different vantage point and connected to us throughout the game. So everything that you see or focus on or want to try and create as a story are entirely normal things.
So he's not providing coaching advice, is that what you're saying?
That's my job.
Yet another great home victory for Aberdeen. Michael, is it really that big a deal if the Hearts director of football, Craig Levein, communicates with his head coach, Ian Cathro, during the match?
No, I think that's fair enough. You know, I think that it was actually, you know, wise to utilise that vantage point from the stand. I don't have a problem with that. I think perhaps, though, you know, it's the 21st century, they could get something a bit better connected than somebody running up down the stand. I don't have a problem with that. It's the changing room thing that, for me, is the real issue. That as a player, you're sitting in the changing room, you know, and we're led to believe that, you know, they have a bit of a sort of gathering. Ideas are spoken about. Craig Levein's not speaking to the players directly, but if you're sitting there for a minute or two and you're thinking, where's the head coach, what's going on, and then he eventually comes through and you've got another senior figure who's just standing there not really saying anything, just the mere fact that he's there creates the confusion as to what's going on.
I've never experienced anything like that. For me, in a change room, especially at half-time, it's one voice, one leader. I have no problem with Levein helping out tactically. You do get a better view from the stands, so sometimes you'll see something that a coach can miss in the touchline. But I think they're obviously comfortable with it, but it's not been communicated well exactly what the role of Craig Levein is. And I don't think Cathro explains it that well either. And I think they just need a bit of clarity as to who's doing what. It's
understandable that the supporters, the media, people as a whole, the director of football role is not normal in Scottish football. So what is the defining difference between what is he doing and what's Cathro doing? And it needs to be explained. There needs to be a bit more of a transparency to what's going on. But I'll just go back to this. Another senior figure in the changing room creates confusion, because as a player you're thinking, who's it that's making the decisions? Who's giving us the direction what we're doing here? And he doesn't even have to say anything. His mere presence there.
There's confusion on the pitch as well.
It's not
just on the pitch. They've lost 3 of their last 4 games.
Well, I mean, it's not going well. And obviously, when results are not happening, you're going to get more scrutiny. I mean, Leonard Soa, at this point here, there's a line on the penalty spot. As a fullback, you never want to cross that and get dragged over. He knows Adam Rooney's behind him, but look at his body position. He's closed off.
He never looks.
At this point here, this is the first occasion that he actually knows that Shea Logan's actually behind him. And then, look, the cross coming in, this happened all day long. Look at Struna with Niall McGinn. He never gets within a yard of him to affect what Niall McGinn's doing.
And the thing is, you know Aberdeen, their strength really lies in the wide areas. And they just didn't put enough pressure on the Aberdeen wide men to stop crosses coming into the box. And you're right, Mikey, it was happening every single time. A couple of examples here. Struna doesn't even get within a yard. And look, he's running, he's got his back to him there. He's basically shown him a shot at goal.
But aren't these the kind of things that an extra pair of eyes in the stands?
Well, you would expect it would be great, but unfortunately, this continued right through the game.
Look, they both double up there. Nobody gets within a yard.
That's the second half.
You've got to get touch tight. You can't stop crosses coming into the box.
That's the second half. Right throughout the first half, it was quite clear that Hearts were getting forced onto the back foot. Aberdeen played brilliantly, but to be expected. You heard Dermot McInnes there, pressed them all over the park. Hearts had no out ball. They were forced onto the back foot. They couldn't stop them in the wide areas, and it shouldn't have been a surprise, because Aberdeen did it to Hearts at Tynecastle as well.
And they do it every week.
You felt Gonçalves, Stephen, isolated up front?
Isolated is exactly the word I'd use. He was playing as a lone striker, and I've done it myself. It's difficult but I just felt his midfield weren't getting up to support him. Here you can see the midfield are miles away from him, and he's maybe the trigger for the press. You know, at certain times a striker will be the trigger to go and press.
As soon as that ball goes back, Hearts have got to squeeze up, haven't they?
You're looking at your defence squeezing, pushing your midfield up to join the press. They didn't. They left Yzma to do that, and that's something that's worked in the training ground. Either it's a bit of naivety from Yzma to go chasing blindly, but I think when he goes, the rest should follow.
They've got to, because Hearts, as I said, Aberdeen had forced them back the whole game. As soon as that ball goes back, you've got to squeeze out.
We've discussed Hearts in depth clearly there. This was a fantastic victory again for Aberdeen, a phenomenal home record and a great run they're on, Stephen.
Yeah, they're playing with such confidence, and what an achievement to equal Sir Alex's record of 9 consecutive home wins in 1986. Brilliant.
And in terms of Derek McInnes' comments after the match, Michael, as well, he described it as relentless from Aberdeen. You were there. That sums it up, doesn't it?
Definitely. You know, I think that epitomises what Aberdeen are all about under Derek McInnes. They were relentless. As I said, they forced Hearts onto the back foot, and they thoroughly deserved the victory. And you know, at the moment, you're talking about two clubs that want to be challenging at the top of the table. You know, Aberdeen are up there. Hearts are a million miles away at the moment. Yeah, and Aberdeen, they'll break this Sir Alex Ferguson record. Well, they've got a great opportunity. I think that you know, they've got Inverness at home the next home game, and they've got obviously a bit of a bogey team for them, Inverness, but a great chance to do it. Okay, next.